Welcome to the world of ability. My name is Sue Roskoff, and we are here again Saturdays, 2 o'clock Central, is when we meet here on our Zoom. If you ever want to come and join us as a guest, you can reach out and let us know that. We are blessed as always to have some wonderful people joining us here today. So here at World of Ability is I'm going to bring Emily in right away because I want to see if she would be so kind as to give us an introduction to our first awesome guest. Over to you, Emily.
So our guest today has been on before, and we met through HMP or Happy Neighborhood Project. Person is in Florida. And is raising money for the Veterans Ranch, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But so Ralph, will you come in here and say a little bit about what you do?
Sure. I'm Ralph Dana with Dana Sales, marketamericaShop.com. We're in every multi-billion-dollar industry, but the one I really talk about is my Debt Crusher. It's a GPS financial software that runs thousands of algorithms in the background for my clients. It tells them on what day and how much to pay on each one of their debts. But it does come with a warranty, but and I can actually tell them how much interest and what day they'll be totally debt-free, the day, the month, and the year. But we know life happens and cars don't last forever. They might have to fix up the home, or they might want to go on a dream vacation. They can put those numbers into the program. It'll tell them what their new payment will be and how much time they're adding. But the people I really look to help are people that say they're living from paycheck to paycheck, because when I run their free report for them, I actually show them where their money is going. We had one client that was spending just under $8 a day on Starbucks, which totaled up to $237 a month. They decided to put that money towards 37 of that towards their debt to get out of debt quicker. But more importantly, they were able to go to their financial advisor and say, I now have $200 a month I can put towards my financial future. Those are the people that we're looking to help. I'm Ralph Downer, the Debt Crusher.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That it's stunning what can be done when you actually take that time to put the focus where it should be and to take care of your household that way. That's amazing.
Yeah, I love the product. We've helped so many people save thousands of dollars in interest. What we are doing though right now, Dana Sales is promoting any one of our sales on our name brand products. Is $10 of that sale is going to go towards the Veterans Ranch. We started at the beginning of the month and it's going to run right through to the end of the month. My retail profit on a lot of the products is less than $10. So I'll be digging into my own pocket to help add it to come up to the $10, and it's all for a worthy cause. I urge everybody to go to the Veterans Ranch website, which is theveteransranch.org, and see what they're all about. And if you don't want to buy products, that's fine. Just hit that donate button.
That's amazing. Can you tell us a little bit more about what the Veterans Ranch is? Because I'll put the website up here so it's available. But what do they do there?
They let the veterans and their families come for free. They work with the horses. They get to the therapeutic energies from the horses. They just relate with them. They get them to relax. They get to work the ranch and learn what it's about, and they're also teaching them how to become entrepreneurs. So they're working with them in many different ways, and everything that they're doing there at the ranch is so needed for our veterans. We promise them so much, and when they come back, every little bit of their benefits that we're told they were going to get, they have to fight tooth and nail for. The suicide rate amongst veterans now is closer to 60 a day, and one is too many.
That actually just blows my mind when I hear that back when the number was still 22, that was the number that really was made big. Oh gosh, I don't know if it was even as much as a decade ago to get awareness to what this problem is, and that now it is 60, somewhere in that is like, how is that possible? We need to do more. And I'm grateful that you've taken a step in the right direction here to be able to help make a difference so that we can do more. I actually just brought up the website for the Veterans Ranch, again, theveteransranch.org. And I love this little piece that they have written in there. It says, for the love of a horse. The incredible thing about horses is that unlike humans, you don't need words to talk to each other. It's almost as if they just inherently know what you feel and can pick up your emotional response. Veterans who work with horses can take advantage of this special bond to gain insight into themselves, their feelings, emotions, and reactions. It's almost like a feedback loop. When you respond to the horse, it mirrors that back to you. This helps facilitate self-reflection and can open up a whole new world of understanding for anyone willing to take the journey. So I absolutely love that. For those that aren't that familiar with horses and what the power of that magnificent beast, I mean, they're huge, right? And that they can be so insightful and intuitive, and to be able to make that connection, that's huge. And from what I remember too, Veterans Ranch is open to the veterans and their family to come and participate in what they have going on there with the horses and with that therapy with the horses. It's amazing. And I can't say enough good things about what JR is doing there. And I believe they were in Texas recently. I believe looking to potentially expand. I don't even know all the details there.
Yeah, they're planning on moving the corporate office to Texas, and open up a bigger ranch there. So of course funding is needed. There is no charge to the veterans or their families when they go there. And they're looking to do this across the United States. They're not looking to just be in Texas. They know there's a need, and they're trying to fulfill it for our veterans. Whether you have had somebody that's a veteran in your family, we've all indirectly know somebody that has served our country in some capacity, and they deserve our respect and our gratitude. They're not asking, they don't have their hand out saying help me, but it's something that we need to do when we see there's a problem in this country for the people that are giving us our rights to be here. And freedom doesn't come free. They paid the price. I've never been in the military, and I'm proud of all those that have, because I can sit here and do what I enjoy doing and enjoy my life here in the United States.
Yeah, and that's a phrase that I know people have said, and we don't always take that moment to let that sink in, that yeah, freedom is not free. Many individuals have fought, have died, have come back injured, all people that are related to them, friends and family that love them, no longer have them. And there is a cost to the freedoms that we enjoy and we daily take for granted. We have wonderful lives here in the United States. We are very, very blessed to be where we are and to be able to enjoy these freedoms. And so 4th of July is coming up not too far away here. It'll be a chance to again celebrate and take that moment to step back and remember and actually think about it. I know with World of Ability and with a lot of the different shows that we do, like Ability MK now, all about relating those with disabilities with those that don't have disabilities, and the whole veteran piece is on the edge of all that, and in a way, and in some ways right in the middle of it all. And that's something that I like what we do here with these shows, that we actually take that moment to think about some of these things, because again, like you're saying, with freedom not being free, we don't always take that moment to just say, wait a second, yeah, we have to pay attention to this. We need to do something to make a difference. And Ralph, I can't say enough about what and it actually makes me think here, your hair's growing in nicely. How are you feeling about that?
It's hard to believe it was only 3 weeks ago, and it's coming back in nice, faster than I thought it would. But also, I appreciate with what Kurt, you and Emily are doing here with the World of Ability, because people look at people and we don't understand what other people are going through. All disability is not something that you can see. There's different emotions and disabilities that are not physically seen. So, you know, try to be compassionate. Look at people as individuals, because we're all going through something. Some people handle it differently. Some people are more capable of doing certain things. We're all different, but we're all unique, and we're all perfect, just for the way we are.
Yeah, and you nailed that in my mind. You nailed that on the head. We don't know what another person's journey has been. We don't know what experiences they've had. It even makes me think of recently I helped out with a field trip, and part of it was out in the woods. And some of these kids, they were like junior high age, so early teens. And there were a couple of girls who they've literally never walked out in the woods before, and they were seeing every bug, every spider, and often were like screaming because they didn't like the bugs, right? Which, you know what? That was their first time out there. Some of the other kids were kind of getting a little bit like, what's the big, they were starting to get a little annoyed really with them being as screamy about all this. It's like, it's just a bug. It's not a big deal. But to them, it was a big deal. They had never experienced this before. So actually, before we left the walk we were on, I took a moment and actually talked to the group a little bit like that of, you don't know where somebody else what experience they've had and where they've literally walked in their life at this point. And I was actually impressed with how well they received that thought of, oh yeah, that just because they've never experienced this before doesn't mean I can look at them and be like, you guys are doing something wrong or whatever. It's like, we're all different, and not good, not bad, not right, not wrong. Just we're different, right?
And if we stop to think, we've all went through something new at some point in time in our life, that the unknowing is sometimes what we're afraid of. And once you know what it is, the fear starts to go away.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. And I know another friend of ours is joining us here on the show again today, and I'm thrilled to see her here. Actually, Emily, would you take a moment and introduce Marianne to everybody, please?
All right, Marianne, we met through the Happy Neighborhood Project, and she is author of a book series, The Acts of Kindness, and is app developer and among a sign language interpreter and among other things. So Mary, want to come in here and say a little bit about your project?
Yeah, well, thank you, Kurt, Emily, and Sue for letting me be here and be part of the Disability Channel. 30 some years ago, I was a case manager with the deaf out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and President Bush signed the American Disabilities Act. And through my journey, I got to go to the beautiful state of Hawaii, and I interpreted for a deaf man for over a decade, and got to kind of live the dream of living on a sailboat. And I actually met a retired Navy diver, explosive ordnance, and did traveling and actually sailing with him through the Hawaiian Islands and Southwest Florida to Virginia. And I got to do book signings for my first book, Underwater Acts of Kindness. And it was an amazing experience. And to sail on a beautiful 36-foot Beneteau through the fleet of naval ships through North Carolina, Virginia, my mouth just dropped. And it was just a most incredible experience. And to come back to Hawaii and get my books on the learning curriculum, Marilyn Rogers introduced me to Donors Choose, and she requested my books for her classroom, and she got funded in 2 weeks. So all classroom teachers can get copies of my books, again, from Donors Choose behind me. We're redoing the website where the app games will be available. You read the chapters of the book, and then you go play the games for free. So the first book was Underwater Acts of Kindness, featuring Noah, the hard of hearing whale, who's recruited by a sea turtle called the General of the New Earth Army to tackle the Great Pacific Garbage Patch between Hawaii and California. And we have several worldwide. And cleaning up oceans and bringing filters to worldwide schools in 35 countries with our other speaker, Leon McLaughlin, who's out been fundraising at these events and has collected the funds to start implementing, putting these filters in the Navajo tribes in Arizona. He expressed to me that he's going to be going to Ecuador, I believe, and bringing filters worldwide too. So it's just all amazing of how different people, even if we didn't serve in the military, these forces, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, we all can do our part on Mother Earth to be of service. And that's what we're doing here on the Disability Channel. We appreciate you guys for always having us here to express our creativity, our works, how we can be of service, what we can do to have a healthy world, worldwide, and especially for humanity. And that's what it's all about. I had an opportunity to connect with my deaf friend this morning, who I signed for 10 years. He relocated to California. He became a veterinary assistant. So I know we had Debbie on earlier shows talking about pet health and safety during these holiday seasons, especially with fireworks celebrating 4th of July. And I just had the opportunity of my captain just showed up and brought Bea Azul, the husky that he purchased on our trip from San Diego, sailing to Cabo San Lucas. And now we're over here in San Carlos, Mexico. So that was a real treat. I love it. My energy gets up. Had some play toys. That's when my hair is kind of, I don't know if you kind of saw it on the previous show, but she was just enjoying the beds and the air conditioning. It's going to be up to 95 this Thursday. So we're also, captain's preparing the boat to go up for storage so he can travel with her. And so we're just checking out things, making sure we have flashlights and batteries that work, because this hurricane season is going to be approaching worldwide, and the El Nino that's happening, and, you know, prayers worldwide for everybody for healthy breathing and clean water, again, with Clean Water Foundations. And yesterday I had a meeting with Trevor Gibbs, who evaluates your websites to make sure you're ADA compliant. That's American Disabilities Act compliant. All businesses need to be compliant. If not, you can receive up to a $75,000 fine. So we are shifting the website over, waiting for that to be approved. It's going to be interesting to work with AI to design this new website, which will feature the books and the app games and links. We're working on the climate change book, so I'm gathering a lot of information again from my deaf friend, who's very intuitive, very smart, and just creating these amazing characters to be of unity and be of service, and how to handle, internally what's going on with some of this eco-anxiety that we're experiencing, especially, the populations now. I mean, in New York, you see these climate change fires that are happening, and people being safety, and we appreciate the firemen being out there, putting there on the front line too. Those people are also of service. So again, we appreciate all this work that you guys are here to let us express live here, and share the good news. So back to you guys. So thank you so much. I'm Marianne of Waikiki. It's the actsofkindnessseries.com website will be up. Donors choose. All classroom teachers can request the books. And Trevor Gibbs and I are looking at a database so that we can send out emails to the 30,000 schools in the United States of America and 3,000 deaf blind schools, because each teacher can just request a book for every single student. That's what Marilyn did. She posted it and she got to select the books, the puppets off of Amazon, other products such as air conditioner. She got carpet, she got a tea set so she could train herself how to be, working at a Starbucks in the future and making coffee. So it's all a good donors choose, support your classroom. So if we get people starting now while we're in our summer breaks, summer fun reading, and you can go play games, and so we can share the good news with everybody. So again, thank you so much to the Disability Channel for having us back every Saturday, and I am happy.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marianne. It's always a pleasure to have you on here and to hear what all of your adventures are. And you're talking about being prepared for a storm. It actually makes me think too. Oh gosh, a handful of years ago, Kurt was part of creating the emergency preparedness guidebook that got sent out throughout the state, and that was all in relation to what he did with the committee here on a state level that was dealing with adults with disabilities. And the things that you need to think about to be prepared for emergencies is different for all of us, right? Depending on the emergency, that weather wise, whatever. Personally, do I think much about having to get ready for stuff like that? A little. If there's a massive thunderstorm coming through here, it's like, okay, you know what, let's unplug the electronics and make sure, just in case lightning strikes nearby, that we'll be okay here and we're not going to like blow up our TV or something. But what about those that are using like an electric wheelchair, or that if there is some kind of an emergency where you have, if there's a tornado coming through? I often think about a friend of ours who, he's physically not able to get out of bed himself. He needs somebody's assistance to actually get up. So what the heck do people do that can't get up themselves? And you know what, there's a tornado coming through and I got to move like now. That type of thing. Those things are realities for so many people. And what is their solution? I mean, everybody has something different that they've worked out, I'm sure, but some of us take this stuff for granted. Like, what, I don't have to think about that, right? Well, you know what? Another friend has also used the phrase temporarily able-bodied. It's like, I'm here now, I can move, I can walk, but as we age, we lose mobility. There's all sorts of things that could happen, that who's to say that someday that won't be me? And I'll have to think about it at some point, and hopefully, but there's a lot of things that, like you're saying, like with emergencies that may come up, you have to get ready for that. It brings a lot of thoughts my way as far as what do we need to do? How can we help out our neighbor? Is our neighbor actually, like literally the guy across the street, is he going to be okay if something like that's going on? I can't imagine being in a hurricane area like what you're experiencing. That how do you actually get ready for that? And what kind of assistance do some of the people need in order to be ready for that? It's a lot. It's amazing. So
again, people don't realize, even just because a hurricane may miss where you're at, in the Hawaiian Islands or anywhere. Okay, now it's the aftermath. It's the wind, it's the air quality, it's the volcanoes that are erupting. It's the forest fires. Knock electricity, hurricane warm, but a week or two later, you may be affected, your community may be affected by all these things. So it's just good information to have all that stuff. And hey, maybe Kurt will, want to give us a little information on a day here of, what we can do for emergency safety for the summer. Well, during hurricane season or anytime now, because the world is just, it's unpredictable. And we do have to, the more prepared we are, the more our mind will be calm. And that's what we need to have. We need peace and calm to know when these things kind of do happen. And last year we were here in San Carlos, and the Hurricane K hit, and people were losing anchor, and their boats ended up on the beach with them in them. And so I lost my phone, so I'm in Mexico. AT&T doesn't work in Mexico here. I had to get a phone shipped to Phoenix and wait several months for the captain to go visit his sister to pick up the phone. And what a nightmare it was. So again, your phone services, you want to make sure your plans are paid in advance, and we're having challenges with economic times and communication and everything like that. So I'm necessarily need to check out. Check your best, So I'm learning down here from some other neighbors, and I went down and bought a bunch of flashlights at the Riscati thrift store. And the neighbor lady, the cashier was like, yeah, my electricity just went out and this morning. So making sure you have enough water, extra water supply, because with all this drought, and we have a lot of flooding that's happening worldwide. Are you prepared for that? Do you have life jackets? I mean, seriously, what if a flood comes through by your house? Do you have a life jacket? Do you have a preserver? It's just all good information, and your boaters too, and boat safety and going through all that. Everybody needs a checklist to make sure that you're prepared and you're educated and you don't forget this and you don't forget that, because being crew and a captain or service or a team, a leader, or being in the woods with you got to have a backup plan just in case and walk you through that. So this is all life experience. And so we're going to live this journey, and we're living this journey on the Disability Channel. So thank you again, Sue. Back to you.
Awesome. And Ralph, I know you're down in Florida. What kind of weather do you get by you? I don't remember if you're near the coast or if you're in the middle somewhere.
I'm 15 minutes from the Gulf, but the area that I'm in, the scientists are saying it's very unlikely for us to have a direct hit in the area that I'm in, but they won't say that it's impossible, because they said once you do that, then you're challenging God. We all know what happens when you do that. So we've been blessed. The last hurricane that went through here, it was more like a thunderstorm for our area. But your heart goes out to those that do get those direct hits, and even the indirect hits, because the damage is devastating. You're fortunate if you survive it, but you still go through the heartaches of, now where does your family go? And you lost all your everything can be replaced, but the memory, you have the memories, but you don't have the things that go along with the memories anymore because they're gone. For a lot of people, it takes a lot to get over that. It's not the dollar amount, it's the emotions, and it's a hard thing to go through. And I've been fortunate enough not to have to go through to that extreme. Where I came from in New Jersey, I belonged to the Fairlawn Rescue Squad, and we had people that lived on the Passaic River that whenever the river flooded, their homes were flooded, and we'd go in there and we'd pump their homes out for them free of charge. But sometimes they were calling us before the water receded, and we told them there's nothing we can do, because as we're pumping it, it's just coming back in, because the river is still, in your back door at that point, so, you only can do what you can do, and you try to help them out as much as you can. We're all in this together, whether you're affected by it directly or indirectly.
And so were you a firefighter then, or what was your role there?
We were considered heavy rescue, so we would go to car accidents and stuff like that. The age started at 15 to whatever. They still have younger guys in it, but they've been more taken into with the fire department. I actually fought alongside some firemen fighting fires at that age, but when I turned 18, I went to the ambulance corps. Where I grew up, everything was volunteer except for the police department. So when you called an ambulance, there was no charge. And when I came to Florida and found out that anytime an ambulance was dispatched, somebody was getting a bill. I grew up, like I said, in the town. I was with the ambulance corps till the age of 23, and it was if somebody needed to be transported to go to a hospital to see a specialist in New York from New Jersey, we would take them in the ambulance free of charge. If it was a thing that they were only going to be there for an hour or two, we would stay. If it was something that was going to be longer, we'd go back and pick them up later on.
Wow.
But it was just the way the community was. We were a very strong community, helping each other.
That's impressive. Yeah, little known fact about me and Kurt, we actually, for 10 years, we were EMTs. That predates our daughter, but that we actually spent 10 years doing ambulance work with our local fire department. And so lots of different experiences that we encountered with that, and it changes your perspective on things a little bit too. And that whole being on call on Christmas. Yeah, somebody's on call on Christmas, so there's a lot of things that go in with that. Actually, Marianne, I'll send it over to you.
Oh, I just have a question too, is,
Sure.
so in Florida, there's the the Florida coast. What's happening in your world with that? Because that's bringing bacteria, and it's coming on the shores, and it's creating a lot of respiratory as well, and bacteria, and some flesh-eating bacteria, I heard. What's your experience over there in Florida? That seagrass, that big 5,000 mile belt of the seagrass floating in the Caribbean.
Yeah, so far, as I know, it hasn't affected our area. But once again, look at just the fires in Canada, how they're coming across into the smoke and the air quality in the United States, and the fires are actually spreading to the New York border. The world is really a lot smaller than people really think it is. We're all affected by each other's air qualities and everything. Just go back to COVID, how fast it spread across the world, just traveling through the air. We all need to be, when you hear something happen in another country, it doesn't affect us. It does in the long run. So we all need to be proactive and try to work together as a human race to eliminate the problems in the world, instead of looking at it and saying, well, I'm in my own little part of the world, so it doesn't affect me. It does. It might take a little bit longer to get to you.
Yeah. What they used to say at Disney World, it is a small world after all, and it really is. And that's actually one of the things I love here with what HNP with Happy Neighborhood Project was able to do, to bring all of us from across the country and even across the globe together, and getting a chance to get insights beyond just our backyard and our local community here to find out more. And actually, you were mentioning about the seagrass. I didn't even know about that. That up here in Wisconsin, that has not crossed my eyes or my ears yet until you said this. I didn't know that was a thing. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's going to affect a lot of boaters and, tourism down there and people who live there. And I used to be a medical rep back in the day too. And I covered Michigan respiratory, all that is affected. So
Wow.
We all got to be educated, and yep. So,
And like you're saying, with
the
those
good news
wild,
here is the thrift store. I'm just sharing a little in Mexico down here. There's the thrift store where they have the EMT ambulance behind it. So any of the flashlights that I bought, that money goes directly to their salaries, and they have a free clinic behind it. So that's a good feeling that I know that I have. And they're also building a brand new hospital down here that I found out they're going to be brokering with United States American insurances, and I maybe the military as well. So it's I'm in the right place at the right time. So learning different things of different communities, and the world is. I'm doing a lot of reading because I'm writing this climate change book, and so I'm tying all these different animals around the world and how they are affected in this book, because they become homeless. Their forests are gone. Where are they going to find food? The ice is melting. Scott and I Googled the white fox and the white rabbit in the Arctic is now adapted by changing their hair color and becoming brown like a chameleon. So the
Wow.
animals are adapting to climate change, and they're starting to eat each other. And so I've been doing a lot of different, reading, or we'll come up with a character and then we'll Google it. We'll talk about it. What's the message? How are we going to leave this? How they all going to come together for unity? So it's just been an amazing morning again this morning. So I look forward to working with him. And it's just the climate change book is going to be just so amazing. And we're featuring a whale for Clean Water Foundation and as flow. So for the love of water, again, you know, these hurricanes to flooding, this is all contaminated water. And this is one thing it just happened too. So my captain of the sailboat came over and I buy water. I have water delivered to me and I have a thing. So we had to turn it upside down. And so he goes, when you put that in there, you wipe the top off of it. Okay. Because it's going in there. So just because the guys are carrying it, it can get contaminated, it's on it. You turn it over, you all that unnecessary things into your like water filter by just turning over the bottle. You know, same thing too with you getting a bottle of water or a juice or whatever at your 7-Eleven, wipe that stuff off because you're putting it up to your mouth. Those are all additional contaminants, stuff like that. So it was, I was like an aha moment. So that's what I learned this morning too. So yeah. And again, grateful for clean water, and Leon's out doing his work. He's bringing filters to worldwide schools and fundraising this summer up in Kirkland. So he'll join us in the future again. And so thank you so much.
Awesome. And I know as you're talking about displaced animals and we mentioned about the fires in Canada, I can't even fathom what's happening there with the animals and where are they going? How are they, I mean, how many have been lost in the process that were trapped somewhere and they're, and then the air quality issues too, and how far that's, you know, going all the way into the States. And for anyone who has lung issues or asthma, any of that type of thing, that there were advisories coming as far over here as Wisconsin saying stay indoors because air quality is not good right now. And really it's not been that bad here, but New York area, from what I understand, had it really bad. So I can't imagine that. Oh my gosh, again, those hidden disabilities that you don't necessarily know that the other guy down the street has asthma and this is going to be a health threat for that person. We got to watch out for each other and pay attention to these things because it's just amazing what an impact and it's something like this, the wildfires, something like that, what an impact it makes beyond just the fact that, oh gosh, you know, some wood burned, you know, it's not just that some wood burned, it has completely changed the landscape for so many. I don't even know how big the area is that's been affected at this point. How many millions of acres? I don't even know. It's just, it's hard to comprehend.
From what I was told, I think they said it was bigger than the state of Iowa.
Bigger than the state of Iowa? Oh.
Yes. So.
Oh, that breaks my heart. That's hard to imagine. Think about how long it takes to drive across the state of Iowa. It's hours just to cross that distance in a car. And that an area that big has just burned. Wow. And even the homes that were there, I don't know. I'm not. Now I got to do some digging after we're done here so I can see what was there and what might remain because, oh, awful.
Well, New York, if you see it, you can Google it, and you can see the El Nino and where the fires are crossing over down into Virginia, where it's all going to be affect Michigan. So you're right across that big pond. So, you know, and what I was getting at too, you know, prayers and thank you of service for all these medical, you know, physicians and nurses, because not only we went through COVID and the, you know, the admit rate is going to be, it's just going to skyrocket even more. And if you look at some of the pictures, you see a before and after, it's all like orange. It's orange. And you couldn't even see the White House. Okay, you could barely see it going over these bridges. All these people posted different things. You could barely see what it was.
Wow. Oh, well, you know, I'm going to flip the gears a little bit here and ask, I'm kind of curious if you guys have some fun things that you're looking forward to this summer, with whether it's business wise or with what's going on locally in your area. I know for us personally, we're officially in water ski season now. So we've got our first adaptive water skiing event coming up on July 7th down in Burlington, Wisconsin. So our ski season's going. So summer's always fun for us with that and all the adaptive skiing and show skiing that we do around here. Ralph, I'm kind of curious with you down in Florida there, do you have some fun, exciting things coming up? Again, whether it's fun things or business things, do you have some good stuff coming up here this summer that you'd like to share?
Yeah, for me, it's going to be fun with family. I'm actually going to have all 5 of my grandchildren next week, in the same place. So something that doesn't happen all the time. So I'm really going to enjoy that, and I'm probably not going to be available to anybody for that week because I'm going to just enjoy the grandkids and spoil them as much as I can.
That is going to be perfect. That's amazing. You got to soak all that in while you can, right?
Absolutely. Life is
That's a
too short.
blessing. Awesome. How about you, Marianne? Well, once we get past, actually, how long does hurricane season last where you are there? Is it going to be just a short time? Or I don't even know.
Hurricane really kind of starts worldwide. So it usually starts in June, can go to November, and who knows with this whole El Nino predictions. And but yeah, it gets real hot down here in the summer, unbearable. I came over in September and I was on the sailboat for a couple of weeks. It was miserable. So I'm grateful I got into an apartment and I have a pool right outside my door, and I'll be swimming with all these amazing families and learning more Spanish, Espanol. And I'm taking a Mel Robbins launch course. So for the next several months, which has been very inspirational and motivational. So 15 minutes a day. I got her kind of as a coach and networking with some people, specifically writing books. And I just will work on my projects and hopefully get some of the books out to the teachers this summer so that they can physically see the books, so that they can share with their department heads, superintendents, and then the captain will return in a couple of months. So hopefully then we'll do some sailing. So it's going to be hot. So I got a pool and I'm all set.
Awesome.
I got air conditioning. That's it.
That's awesome.
I have great neighbors down here that cook. They
good
cook
to have
so
good
much
neighbors that
amazing
cook.
Mexican food. Oh my God, I'm so blessed down here. I'll take a trip down. So, my neighbor's a retired attorney. So I said, hey, it's going to be 95 next Thursday. Can we go down to the Embarcadero in the marina? It's a bar, restaurant, hotel. They got amazing air conditioning, and I'll bring the laptop and we'll sit down and review some grants and stuff that he's been suggesting to me. So we'll be sitting there in the air conditioning throughout the day and little siesta.
Awesome. That sounds really good.
Yeah, I got to get a fan. I'm looking for a fan now. So it's on the to-do list.
Perfect. Well, and Emily, how about you? Do you have some things that you're looking forward to coming up this summer that you'd like to share?
Well, my brother and sister have been in town for the last week. And we went to a Rocky Brewers game a couple of days ago, which was fun. So
can't beat that. Pro ball is always a good time.
Yeah, but just kind of taking it easy and relax as much as possible.
Excellent. Well, and I know we all have met on HMP, and since we have just a moment here, Emily, you want to just share a little bit, what is HMP for those who haven't heard about it and don't know what it is or how to find it? You want to just share a few details there too, because obviously it's brought us together and we have a lot of friends out there we haven't even met yet. So how do we get them in the loop?
So the Happy Neighborhood Project is a business networking group that was started several years ago by a guy named Edwin Underberry out of California. And started just in one city, but now is in like over 50 and several countries, and I've been able to meet people from around the world, like as far away as like Australia, and so it's been a good time.
Excellent. So, well, I know we're getting near the end here. I just want to see around the room here again. Ralph, did you have any last things that you would like to share with everybody before the day's done?
Sure. With HNP, they've actually announced 3 new meetings that are starting up. So
Ooh,
they're expanding, so making it more available for more people. One is going to be every Wednesday at 8 o'clock Eastern time, 8 p.m. And that'll be every Wednesday. And then starting July 20th, the third Thursday of every month, there'll be a recruiting meeting where you can actually talk about income opportunities and what you offer to entrepreneurs and people that are looking for another source of income. Then for the people that are having trouble making it to the weekly meetings, there's going to be a new meeting starting on Saturday, and that's going to be 12 p.m. Pacific time. So, look out for those meetings. Edwin is all about helping businesses grow, and that's what we're all about. We don't go there pitching to each other. We go there to see how we can help each other grow our businesses. And we've all met great people there, and everybody here on this podcast is an HNP member. So come join us.
awesome. And actually that reminded me of a couple of fun dates that are coming up too, because I know they've got the HNP Co-op, and they're celebrating 2 years of existence. I think here it is on Friday, July 7th. There's going to be at the Worldwide event that takes place at 1 o'clock Central. They are going to have a big old party going on online, and they even have a giveaway going on during that one that I'm kind of excited about. I'll have to make sure to make it to that one. And then also the this fall, might need your help. It is October something, I'm blanking
6th.
on the 6th. Thank you. October 6th for the Global Happiness Summit. So that, mark your calendars for that one. I've been to that before, and it is a worthwhile event. It goes a good chunk of the day, but there's a lot happening. There will be networking. There will be like speed dating, almost kind of a thing, speed networking. That'll be happening. There'll be speakers. There'll be more giveaways. It is worth your time to be there. There's so much that they offer. It is jam-packed full, and there's vendors that have the online vendor booth where you can go talk to them, find out more about what they offer. It's a phenomenal day, and I'm just want to make sure people are aware of that coming up as well. Is there anything else I'm missing here? What that would be good to mention with HNP? Because yeah, I actually had not heard yet about the 3 new groups that we're starting up. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, and with the giveaway on July 7th, you have to be present to win, and you also have to be a co-op member. It doesn't mean you have to be a paid member. You can be a free member. And Dell is giving away a brand new computer.
Dell computer. And Edwin just announced the 3 new meetings just yesterday at Worldwide. Because the weekend one just came out of when we were in one of the breakout rooms. They were talking, just came up and they decided to have us. So
that's perfect. It makes a lot of sense, because there are a lot of people that do their own business kind of on the side, but have a full-time job working during the week and can't make the weekday meetings like that. That's phenomenal that they'll be starting a weekend one as well. That's going to help a lot of people out. I love it. So, and Marianne, I'll pass it over to you again here too, if you have any last thoughts here to share with everybody.
Yeah, well, we forgot that we have Jasper that's been joining us, and they got the African Film Festival happening late October in Atlanta. So he's been a speaker here. And again, Clean Water Foundation, Leanna Coughlin's out there doing some events and fundraising for Worldwide Schools, American Airlines Ambassador, and United Nations Ambassador, just doing amazing stuff. So summer fun reading, check out the actsofkindnessseries.com. Classroom teachers can get copies of my books from donors to donate.
Awesome. Thank you so
Then that-
much.
And
Go
that
ahead.
reminds me, in was it a week or two on June 17th, in Conroe, Texas, there's what's called Down for Smiles event. That is supporting the Down syndrome community. They're having like barrel racing and people with Down syndrome can get they're doing a photo shoot with people with Down syndrome, and there's gonna be a lot of fun. So remind me of that. So I wanted to bring that up. So if anybody's in that area or looking to take a trip down there, should be a good time.
That's perfect. I appreciate you mentioning that. And actually, Ralph, do you want to mention one more time about the ranch? I got JR's head
Yeah,
even
the Veterans Ranch.
Ranch. I was going to say the
Yeah.
JR Ranch. I'm like, wait a second. Veterans Ranch. Thank you.
Any sales that we do on our name brand products, we're going to donate $10 on every sale to the Veterans Ranch. But please go to theveteransranch.org. You don't have to buy anything if you don't want to. They have some of their own shirts and stuff that they sell there, but you can just hit the donate button. You know, any little bit helps. You know, price of a cup of coffee goes a long way. So thank you in advance.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Marianne, Ralph, Emily. This has been a lot of fun having a chance to spend some time here with you on the World of Ability. And we look forward to reconnecting again in another week. Thank you so much. And actually, Emily, if you want to do our shout outs to our affiliate partners, I'm going to pass it back over to you for that.
Big thanks and recognition to Marcus Hart of Transforming Media, Jace Doyne of the Disability Channel, Zach Clayton of the PAC Channel, and Lawrence Wingate of Wingate Studios for allowing the time of this show on their platforms, and Frey Whitaker, another show we help out with, and all of our other shows that we help out with. So anybody who's interested in being a guest or helping out with the shows in any way, to please let us know.
Excellent. All right. So again, my name is Sue Roskoff. For Kurt, me, Emily, Ralph, Marianne, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for being here. And that's a wrap for today with